From WPTV, this is News Channel 5 at 11.
We start with Tropical Storm Gordon's path moved through Florida after dumping heavy rain, and with it we had the high winds. The Gulf Coast now on alert, potential for Gordon to become a hurricane. And Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel, of course, tracking it all for you. And Steve, what can we and they continue to expect?
Well, we're starting to improve weather-wise here. We still have some heavy rain, but not the big squalls that we saw earlier today, Michael. And we are looking at the sunshine returning, getting into tomorrow. But it'll be a slow transition. There's still heavy rain around the Treasure Coast. And tonight, that storm, Gordon, is still a mess. Very disorganized, lots of dry air entrained in this. Certainly doesn't look like a tropical storm even on the satellite loop in the last few hours. But it's up now over open water and there's low wind shear. So the forecast is to bring this to a Category 1 hurricane before landfall about roughly this time tomorrow night along the northern Gulf Coast. There's a look at the timeline. So Tuesday around midnight or just after. The issue with the timing is that it's picking up its forward speed. It's moving almost 20 miles an hour now toward the northwest, and there's the track later in the week as a big rainmaker heading up toward the Great Lakes. So it moves away from South Florida, and that means our weather begins to improve. But the rain's not done yet. Heavy rain across Fort Pierce and Vero Beach. In northern Palm Beach County, we've seen off and on rain during the late evening hours. There's another line there from Lantana up through Lake Worth, moving into West Palm. Wider view, you can see we're in the mid and high 70s. And on the Treasure Coast, heavier rain. No lightning, which is surprising because these are some pretty good rain cells, but haven't seen anything on the lightning counter in the last few minutes. But don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder. So Gordon moves away, and we have a couple other systems out there. Florence, a tropical storm, and another wave that has a 50-50 chance of developing the next 4 to 5 days. Now, Florence is interesting because this storm was expected to turn quickly northwest and then north, but the computer models and the official track have been pushing it west and west. And the European model, which by the way did a fantastic job with Gordon, has a storm off the Carolina coastline, this storm Florence, as a hurricane at about 8 or 9 days from now. So it's definitely one to monitor. At this point, no threat, but definitely one to keep an eye on.